It's your turn. You ready? We are live. Awesome. I'm Gail Anderson. This is Mentoring Moments for Moms. Glad to have you today. Hi, Courtney. Man, you were always quick on the draw. Just talking about things that affect moms. All different kinds of things. Being a mom, being a spouse, managing your household, living simply, and also health. I like to talk about that too. Hey, glad to have you on. So as long as you're on, do you have any questions about kids' toys? Do you have any frustrations yet? That's just what we're going to be talking about today. First of all, hi, nice to see you, grateful lady. Glad you're on today. First of all, with kids' toys, you have to make sure that you don't have tons and tons. It is so automatic. At every age, they have tons and tons of toys. So you get this overwhelming closet or cabinet or whatever full. Thank you for those hearts. If you're enjoying what I'm talking about today or other days, please give me hearts. I've got a little manual stand for the camera today, so it's a little bit off. Anyway, you cannot manage how much they get from grandparents like me or gifts or other things. They do have a lot of toys. But there's several things that you can do with those toys to manage what you're doing. First of all, teach your kids how to use the toys. A lot of times they get something and they just don't even know how to use it. So I say spend time with your kids in the first place learning how to use those toys so that they can then play on their own. Before we started homeschooling, I found that it was very effective for me to spend an hour with my boys in the morning in their room, just playing with their toys and the things they want to play with. And amazingly enough, that gave me more of the rest of the day to myself, because not only did they know how to play with those toys, but they also had had time with me and felt refreshed in that area, so then would play better on their own. The next thing would be teach your kids to do one toy at a time. Now, I have done this even when they were very little, very, very little. If you like the scope and you want to share it, make sure you swipe to the right and share it with your friends, and thanks for the hearts. So we're talking about kids and toys. We're talking about one toy at a time, which is really an important thing to learn. And all that means is pick up the one you're on before you pull out another one. A hard thing to teach kids, but you can start them young. I know 2-year-olds can even say, one toy time, meaning I understand, one toy at a time. If they start out that way, then they're going to do that very well. Another thing that I heard years and years ago is about rotating your kids' toys. Okay, you have so many toys, their closets are so full. Decide which ones you want to be able to play with. Keep those down, put the others up on a shelf. 3 or 4 months later, switch those toys so that you've got brand new toys for those kids on the shelves where they can actually play with them, and then the other ones are up. So it's almost like Christmas every 3 months. It's really a cool idea to do that. And just make sure that your kids understand that toys have a place. It's great to have them out in the living room for a while, but then when they get picked up, where do they go? So don't just have your kids pick up by themselves. Do it with them. Show them where things go. I know when I was viewing Montessori schools, when I was training for teaching, that they had these shelves with outlines on the shelf, which was the footprint of the toy that went there. So the kids all knew exactly where things went. So sometimes we have so many toys, we don't have a spot for them. But what I'm saying is get it organized, narrow down those toys, and have a specific spot for them so kids can play with them and then be able to put them back on their own. And when you get to those points where, okay, they've been playing in there all day, they've had a good time, their room is an absolute mess, then what you need to do is go in and say, okay, we're gonna take 10 minutes right now and see if we can beat the timer and pick up this whole room of toys and do it with them, especially if they're young. Teach them how to do it, motivate them, and then later you'll be able to set the timer and they'll do it on their own. In everything that we talk about with kids, if you sow the time teaching them, sow the time organizing them, sow the time into a structure, you're going to find that having kids is so much more enjoyable, motherhood is so much more enjoyable, and you will feel more in charge, and it'll make you feel like a great mom, which you are. Thank you, Bethany. Toys are out of control. Amen. Okay, so this is the time to start into it. The biggest thing I think is important is the whole rotating of the toys. When you have too many choices out for your kids, it's going to be difficult. So just take the time to put some of them up and keep them up and then rotate them. And again, it's like Christmas for the kids to all of a sudden have your toys change and they're brand new. Great, Courtney. Start it now. And you know what? You can start with Caleb in getting him to play with toys and then put them back where they go. So if you didn't see this whole broadcast, I encourage you to go to my catchme.com. Catch.me, that is. My link is in the profile. You'll be able to see this whole scope and all the rest of the scopes that I've done. My husband and I also blog 3 times a week at KirbyAnderson.com, and that is also in my profile, the link to that. So any questions, you can get a hold of me on the website. One of these days I'll get my email shared, but I love talking to you moms. I love hearing from you. I love your questions, so please stay in touch and have an awesome day as a mom.